Crime Time is the new audiobook from husband and wife duo Jeneva and Drew. Thank you both so much for your time today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
You got to the audiobook was just released, and you got to have a big launch party at Anderson's Bookshop, which is a local bookstore here in the Chicagoland area. What was that event like for the both of you?
It was a lot of fun. It was our first time at my first time at Anderson's Bookshop having an event there. And so we were excited to get invite to have it there. And it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, there was a huge turnout. The people were really excited, and the event went really well. So it was fantastic.
Jeneva, you're the author of very successful books, and now this is your first time doing an audiobook and the first time working with your husband.
Yes, and it came about in an interesting way. We've always wanted to write together, but this was something that when I came up with the idea for it, it was actually inspired by true events that Drew and I both experienced. And it happened in December of 2021 when 3 armed men broke into our building and burglarized the apartment above our townhome. And we called the police while we were waiting. And after the burglars fled, we ended up going up to check on our neighbor to see if he was okay or if he was even home. And what we discovered was that he himself was a drug lord who was running a drug operation out of the apartment, which is why he was targeted by these burglars.
That is crazy. How did this come about as far as like, here's something crazy that happened in the building that we live in to let's make this one of our projects and let's team up together? I guess, Drew, maybe did the idea... Was Jeneva like thinking about it? You're like, hey, how can I be involved since I was here too?
Yeah, the events of that night, kept kind of rolling over in her mind. And she was like, I really think that there's a story here. And when it came time for her to write it, she was like, I've always wanted to work with you on something. And I think that'd be really fun based on the kind of content we do with our social media, particularly on TikTok. And so she was like, would you like to write this with me? We could kind of bounce ideas off of each other and, give both of our perspectives on that night. So that's how that came about.
How did you manage like that living together and working together on this project? Tell me a little bit about that process.
Well, at the time, Drew was working in banking, so his only day off was on Saturdays, and I was working on 2 other projects. So it was literally every Saturday it was about 9 or 10 Saturdays to write the whole audio original. And we would start in the morning and we would finish before dinner. And each Saturday was an episode.
Let's talk a little bit about the characters of Chase and Nadia.
Yeah, so Nadia is a crime novelist. She's kind of more of I wouldn't say necessarily a recluse, but she likes to keep to herself. She'd prefer to live on the page than, broadcast herself out there. Whereas Chase is the polar opposite. He's an aspiring TikTok star. He kind of lives on his phone and on the internet and has aspirations for fame.
And they have recently discovered one another as their half siblings. So they don't really know each other that well. And when they experience this armed burglary, Chase takes it upon himself to film everything. And obviously it was fictionalized, so there's dirty cops involved as well. And he posts them all to TikTok and they go crazy viral overnight, plunging them into a world of crime that neither of them are prepared for.
What was the reaction like, especially knowing that, from your fans, Jeneva, that this was going to be an audiobook versus, something that they could sit there and read?
We decided to write it as an audio original because so much of what we experienced was via sound. It was first the footsteps and the running up and down the stairwell. It's all the loud noise above us. It was loud bangs. And so we thought it would work really well as an audio original versus a physical book. And also because there's so much humor in it that we figured, someone actually delivering and telling the joke versus reading on a page would be a lot more fun to consume it that way.
I want to go back to you talking about TikTok and social media, because there's so many times where someone might post a video and it's the comments of someone noticing something in the background or somebody noticing something that happened that maybe while you were doing it, you didn't see it or you were completely unaware. How much have your fans influenced this audiobook?
I mean, there's a lot of little kind of jokes in there, or little inside jokes that my readers know about, or because they've seen it on our TikTok. Even we got to use clips from our TikTok. So there's one from my Scott Saga series, which is me dealing with a reader who emailed me 6 times to tell me how much he hated my books. And then, so we used a clip from that, and then, which they all went viral, which is why we pulled from there. And then Drew likes to react to kind of teen movies or Twilight, 50 Shades of Grey. So we pulled a clip from there too. So that was fun to bring that in that our audience is familiar with. They're like, I listened to this in one night, and it's been meant to be just consume it, eat it up, and have fun with it.
Yeah, and that's part of having that kind of crime element happen right away in the first 5 minutes of the first episode is like you said, you really want to know how that plays out and you kind of get hooked right from the beginning.
Awesome. Well, Drew, Geneva, thank you both so much for your time today. Hashtag Crime Time is now available, or Crime Time. You can look it up both ways. And happy holidays to the both of you.
Thank you.
Thank
Happy
you for having
holidays to
us.
you. Thank you
Yep.
for having us.